We're here in the south of France at the Bénéteau Sea Trials, and behind me is the Flyer Gran Turismo 49 Fly. It uses the same hull as the Monte Carlo 47 that we tested a few years ago, but there are some big differences on the interior especially. So let's jump on board and have a look around. Where Beneteau really picked up their game on this boat, it's just the general feel when you're on board, and it starts with the materials. And the colour scheme, so these dark browns look really classy. It's all soft touch, it's really nice to look at, and you know, it extends to the helmets here. It's all dark colours here, there's no reflection, and then all the way around the dashboard here it's all leather, whereas before it might have been just blank fiberglass. And there's small touches, but they really make a big difference as to how the boat feels in general, and it continues throughout as well. While I'm down here, it seems sensible to talk about the layout of the lower helm, which is actually very good. As you can see, I can sit back here on this bench which slides forwards and backwards, and I can reach the throttles and the wheel really easily without having to sit on the edge of my seat or lean forward. The view out's very good, although she does ride quite high trim wise, so you end up using quite a lot of tab to keep the bow down. But once you do that, actually the view out is very good, minus this rather thick mullion on the right hand side here. Two big plotter screens in front of me here, which is great because the skipper can use one and the navigator can as well. Really clear view of the dials, and all in all it's a very comfortable place to drive the boat from. When you first look at the galley, it looks a little bit minimalist and not particularly useful, to be honest, but actually when you dig a little deeper there's lots of really good stuff going on here, and of course it's typical Beneteau, really practical. For example, these in here in this cupboard you've got not only a double bin but it's a decent size. Most times when you do these they're really tiny little pots, but they'll keep you in for a while. And then this little area here as well, instead of just having a big open kind of cave of a locker, you've got these racks which make storing bits and bobs much easier. And similarly over here there's two of these cupboards. It's just really neat little ideas that make the galley a lot more useful. This area, as you can see here, is a little lower saloon, which I think on this boat is probably a little bit redundant, and what most owners will do is spec the third cabin here, which gives you another 2 berths on top of the 2 cabins you've already got. So here we are in the master cabin, which, as you can probably tell by these enormous windows behind me, is amidships. The windows are brilliant, the light absolutely floods in. It just would be nice maybe to have another one of these here, because otherwise ventilation is going to be not particularly great, but of course you've got aircon. Elsewhere, headroom's good. Where I am, obviously I can stand up, but it's only really down this side and by the door. Over the bed it's a little bit more restricted and you're going to be crouching. Storage is also very good in here. There's 3 really big bin lockers on the opposite side of the cabin, but it might be a thought just to make the middle one into a nice little vanity unit, possibly make it a bit shallower and put a mirror in it. But apart from that, it's a very good cabin. So here we are up on the fly bridge, and some may think that it's a little bit pokey for a 50-footer, but in fact with the space they've got, Beneteau have done a pretty good job. As you can see, the helm station in front of me here, it's nice and low slung, you feel like you're in the boat as opposed to perched on top of it. There's plenty of protection from the windscreen because it's nice and close to the helm station itself, so that's good for when you're out at sea. And then elsewhere, it's pretty much the entire row of seating all the way around the boat, finishing off with a table at the back, which also lowers down and turns into a large sun pad. So not enormous, but actually there's plenty that you can do with it to make it a good useful area.